Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Brad Rose.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, I've been singing all my life. I started singing in church choirs whenever I was, probably 6 or 7 years old, and I stayed in the church for pretty well all of my life, and still am involved in it actually, and in the choirs and everything else. But I actually started getting into doing performing. I guess it would have been about 6 years ago now, and I got involved with Relay for Life. And how that all happened was they needed an Elvis for their theme that year was Viva Las Vegas. And they said, would you do it? Do you sing? And I said, well, yeah, I sing, and I think I could do Elvis all right enough. And so I did a couple of things for them, and they said, oh, yeah, we'll take you. So I ended up, that's where it started. And shortly after that, my kids got me on Big Daddy radio station, which was in Sudbury at the time. It's not Big Daddy anymore. But I won that contest, and I went to Las Vegas. And I sang at 3 casinos in Las Vegas while I was down there, and I didn't know at the time, but I was opening up a show for Cher Bono, and she walked out on stage and did Viva Las Vegas. Whenever I started singing Viva Las Vegas, she came out and sang with me, and I thought it was just another person like myself as a impersonator. And then whenever I got off the stage, they told me that it was actually Cher, and I thought, wow, that was kind of cool that I was doing a show with Cher Bono, a little old guy from Sudbury, and just putting around having fun with it. So I had a great time with that, and whenever I came back home, my mom called me and told me she was in a home in Mattawa, and she asked me, she said, now that you're a big star, would you come down and sing for me? And I said, well, Mom, I'm not a big star. I did Vegas and that type of thing, and I'm singing all over, but yeah, I'll be happy to do that. Went down to Mattawa, and I did a show for them, and she was just sitting there shining. And luckily enough that it was, because she got to see me perform, and she said, I never knew that you could play the piano, Bradley. I did not like that. I didn't know that. And I said, Mom, I've had a piano all my life. You know that? I know, but she said, you're good. You're just a little overweight. You got to lose some weight. And I said, oh, okay. She was always that way. She was pretty honest. And so I did the show for her, and she was really shining, and she passed away a month after. So she got to see me doing a show before she went away, and it was really cool that she did it. Well, the first costume I ever got, it was a Halloween costume, and I had gotten it. We were going out to a Halloween party, and I bought it at one of the stores downtown here, and I just kept it over the years, and that's what I used to win the contest to go down to Vegas. And now, since then, I've invested probably in the neighborhood of about $20,000 in the suits quite easily. Yeah, because I got the white one and the blue one and the dress pants and all the stuff that goes along with it, and the rings and all of that. It adds up. Probably more like $30,000 with all the jewelry and everything that I've got involved now. I came in 5th in the world in competitions in Collingwood.
Take my hand, take my whole life too. Oh, bye, I can't help falling in love with you.
I love doing homes. I love doing retirement homes in Sudbury. I mean, there's absolutely no big money in it or anything like that, but I love doing it. I recall one day I was doing a show at Falconbridge, York, Extendicare, is it? Falconbridge? And I was doing a show there, and there was a lady that couldn't get out of her wheelchair, and I went over and I sang right to her, and she had tears running down the cheeks of her face, and she said, if I died right now, I'd be in heaven. And it was just one of the nicest things that I've ever seen in my life, was being able to just make somebody smile for that few minutes was all worth it. It was just makes it worth it. That's what I get out of this, just the self-satisfaction of seeing people happy. And I go into York Street, whenever I go there, they've had now to get me to do different floors, because there was so many that wanted to come down and see me on the Friday nights that they were afraid of the fires, because they get too many wheelchairs and everything in there, and some of the older people in there, they want to touch you and they want to give you kisses and hugs and all of that stuff, and I go along with that. But it's been big. We've hit all over. I play with another fella that does Buddy Holly, Gavin Russo, and he's just an amazing kid. He's 20 years old, and we're all over the place. We went to Texas. We did some shows down there, again in Vegas. It's just been around all over the place, and it's mostly around here in the Sudbury Basin. I had a lady tell me at Christmas time, I was doing a show, and she come up and she said, you know, you do look like Elvis, and you sound a little bit like Elvis, but you know what? You sing from your heart. And I thought that was one of the nicest compliments that I've ever gotten in my life, because I really don't want to be Elvis. I mean, how do you become an icon like that. I mean, Elvis was Elvis, and you know, he did his thing, and he was an amazing, probably one of the most amazing singers that I know. To say that I follow his career, if I sing like him and people say my name in the same sentence as Elvis, I'm kind of proud of that, because I think he was a heck of a man. I think he did a heck of a job at singing, and he knew what to do. And whenever you're on stage and you're feeling the crowd, you just feel the energy that they're giving you, and you can give that back. I never had the opportunity of seeing Elvis live. I remember the first time I ever seen him was, I think it was on Ed Sullivan. Then the next one was the comeback tour in '68, and he had the leather suit on, and my dad walked over and shut the television off, said, "You're not watching a damn fool like that." So he shut the television off. I thought he was just the coolest thing since sliced bread. I'm set up downstairs. I made an album here. Actually, the first one that I made with a fella by the name of Gary, and we did it in his basement, and I called it My Way. And that's the only album that I made so far, but I'm working on a gospel one right now, and love songs. I'm working in to be Brad Rose. That's what I'm working into. Because I was looking, you know, and on my tombstone it says Brad Rose. It doesn't say Elvis. Even though my second name is Elvis. And people now, I mean everybody, it doesn't matter where it is. If I'm in the mall and everybody walks by, "Oh, thank you very much." That's all you ever hear. And everybody calls me Elvis. Like I say, you got to enjoy it, you got to love it, and it's got to come from the heart.
Rock me, Lord, come on easy. Well, I got a home on the